And I remember when our teacher ended up walking into our classroom, no joke, all the students could not stop staring at her. And you guys are probably wondering why. Well, let's just say she was wearing transparent clothing, which means all of the clothes that she was wearing was ultimately see-through. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy, but also really weird and embarrassing story. So this story all takes place back when I was in high school, and this was my grade 10 year. Now, in grade 10, I was a pretty basic guy, not gonna lie. I was always just doing the basics of, playing video games and going outside every once in a while and not paying attention to school. Yeah, honestly, I did a lot of different things. But one thing I can say is that I remember one time when I entered inside my classroom, I had this one class called English class. If you guys don't know what English is, well, basically it's the class where you learn everything but English. Makes no sense, I know, but at the same time, school never made sense to me anyway. That's why I probably ended up becoming a creator online. We're not gonna talk about it any more than that. But I remember one thing that I gotta say is that my English class was very unique. Not in what we learned, but who was teaching us. And that was our English teacher. Our English teacher for that year of grade 10 was actually a really beautiful girl, or lady, I should say. She was a very beautiful lady that was really outstanding. I want to say she was like her mid-20s, maybe like 26, 27, and she was super hot. Even everyone throughout the entire school knew that this teacher was like the finest teachers of all teachers. And no joke, to this day, all of us still really, I guess, fancy her. Like me, I'm even like right now 23 years old, and I think she's still really hot, but that's not the point. But going on though, I remember ever since the first day of my English class, one thing I realized about this teacher is that she had a real passion for fashion, meaning that she always wanted to be a supermodel. For some reason, I guess everyone just wants to be behind the camera nowadays. Like me, I do it almost every day, don't get me wrong. I don't know why everyone else wants to do it, because some people are just not made for the camera. Even though this teacher was really hot, she definitely was. And I remember ever since the first day, she would always say things like, oh, honestly, like fashion is such a big deal, and I would love to be a model. Like, I think I can model clothing super well. I always keep my physique super like perfect. And let's just say, even though she was super hot, she was definitely one person that I could see becoming a model. I remember even a lot of guys and girls in my class would always say that she had the potential to become a model. And I guess from us telling her all the time that she should become a model, out of nowhere, I guess one day she actually ended up trying her best to become one. She ended up getting an agent and doing the whole thing where she has to like, meet up with a bunch of different people and figure out if like, people want her and hand this portfolio in. It's like a whole thing. I've done photo shoots myself, even though I'm not the most harming looking guy. But what I can say is that it is very intense to become a model nowadays. But other than that, my teacher ended up doing the whole thing, and she would always update us on if she got a gig or not. And let's just say one day she ended up coming inside the classroom very excited because she ended up announcing before class even started, all right, class, I just want to let you guys know from all your motivation, I finally got a gig to be a model. At this moment, the whole class started clapping for her and cheering for her because we all loved our teacher, even though she was like, we still really did care about her and about her career. And this is where everything kind of gets insane, because I remember our teacher would end up going out and modeling for different store brands and clothing brands. I'm not sure which ones, to be honest. I really don't remember, but she ended up doing a bunch of different model shoots for different brands. And I remember we would actually end up going inside the mall and actually seeing her photo on the wall. So not only did we get to see our hot teacher in class, but also when we were out and about and on our social media feeds, which was really cool, by the way. I remember from there, every week our teacher would end up updating us on her following and, her next model shoots. And I'm not gonna lie, some of the outfits that these companies made her wear were pretty casual clothing, until it got to the point where it wasn't so much casual anymore. Because I remember one day when I was hanging out with my friends at lunch, we were scrolling through social media, and one day we ended up seeing a photo of my teacher. This photo of my teacher was one that was very, well, I guess revealing is the best word to put it, because I remember my friend ends up pulling up the photo saying, yo, guys, isn't this our English teacher? Bro, she got a fine rack. At that moment, we all ended up looking at this photo, and I'm not gonna lie, we never expected our teacher to get into bikini modeling. Like, like bikinis, the thing that you wear at a beach. Yeah, she ended up getting photo shoots done of her becoming a bikini model. Now, obviously, we didn't think too much of it other than with our eggplants of how hot she was, but we decided to basically say, like, oh, okay, doing a photo shoot for a bikini is totally normal. Like, who wouldn't do that? I mean, I wouldn't. I would never wear a bikini, but still, like, who wouldn't do that? And that's where things kind of ended up changing, because as weeks went on, rumors went on that our teacher was one day going to become one of those models that, let's just say, show a lot more than they should. And were those rumors right? Well, let's just say kinda, because I remember one day we all ended up entering inside our classrooms, and right as I walk into English class, we ended up seeing our teacher wasn't there. It wasn't normal for our teacher to be late, but as we all ended up sitting down in the classroom just waiting for her, 5 minutes late, she ends up walking in, and what she was wearing was basically nothing. You guys are probably wondering, wait, what? You're telling me she walked around the school naked? No, not exactly. Exactly. Our teacher ended up wearing an outfit that was totally see-through. Before anything, I get that like a lot of like, you know, clothing that could be see-through is like a white t-shirt, for example, or like, you know, something with like a really weird shade of color so that everything under can be seen. Yeah, no, I'm not even saying like she was wearing something like that. She was wearing something totally transparent. Like imagine putting on a window. You're not actually putting on the window, you're seeing through it. And we saw basically everything that we could see under her clothing. You know what's the craziest part? She wasn't even wearing underwear. And before YouTube gets me in trouble for anything, I'm not showing anything illegal, by the way. This is all for scientific purposes. Of what kind of science? Well, relatable science. Because I think we all seen like nowadays how fashion's gone really downhill. I would kind of mention like we started wearing baggy pants and we started wearing like, you know, clothing that really shows our physique, even though some chicks just should not show their physique whatsoever. And what I'm gonna say is that I'm not one to body shame, but like unless you look like this teacher, you should not be wearing clothing like that. See-through clothing, I think that should be potentially almost illegal. But going on from there, I remember when she walked in, all of us started staring at her. We all couldn't stop staring at her because her whole full-on cherries were out and we could see her like, you know, bottoms. Like she was wearing a see-through dress. And that's when our teacher ended up saying, okay, class, don't mind what I'm wearing. I'm wearing something for the model shoot that's happening today after school. And like, you know, since this is my last class, I thought I should put it on early and just go straight to work. But yeah, you guys get to see the outfit I'm wearing today. At that moment, I remember a lot of girls started whispering and handing notes to each other. And most of these notes ended up saying things like, is she even wearing clothes? Like, what in the world's going on? Yeah, honestly, I don't know what to say other than like, it was pretty insane. But me and all the guys in our class, one thing I can say is that we all got bricked. Yeah, every single one of us. Because all of us could not stop staring at her and we just kept staring at her like cherries the entire time. I don't even remember what we were learning in that class. I think we were learning about something about like verbs and stuff. But to be honest, I don't remember because all I looked at was her cherries that entire time in class. And you know what's the craziest part? Usually you would get in trouble for something like this, but our principal, funny enough, later on ended up walking past our classroom. And when he looked through the classroom window, he ended up seeing our teacher wearing see-through clothing. And you know what he does? He ends up walking in saying, miss, what are you wearing today? Oh, I'm wearing something for my model shoot. It's after school and I thought I should put it on early. Is that okay? Yeah. No, it's totally fine. Actually, I have to supervise the class. Do you mind if I join in for the classroom? Yeah, sure, no problem. Just sit in the back and, you know, just let me do my thing. Our principal even decided to ask to join the class and sat in the back of the classroom staring at her as well. I don't know why he was. I guess he was just as excited as I was because, well, to be fair, if I was a divorced principal teacher, whatever the heck he was, I would probably be doing the same thing. But yeah, no, I don't even know what to think from that, but you know what? It is what it is. But I remember the whole time as our teacher was teaching, we were all staring and then the bell finally rang. When the bell rang, we all basically ended up still staring, but kind of woke up and all the girls instantly just got up and left the classroom. And I remember right as a lot of people started to leave the class, one guy in our class ended up actually taking a photo of our teacher and walking away. Now you guys are probably wondering, what does this photo have to do with anything? Well, this photo, let's just say, was ended up posted on the internet. And the internet is kind of a crazy place, okay? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm probably one of the crazier sides of the internet, but the internet can be a really dangerous place for photos. And by the way, quick warning, no one should ever be taking photos of themselves in any way, like, you know, a bad way. I'm not gonna say what it is exactly, but you know what I mean. Don't post photos of nudity. Don't be that kind of guy. It's not a good thing. And girl, don't be that kind of girl either. But still, like I was saying, this photo ended up going on the internet and it ended up going viral. It ended up going viral on this thing called Twitter, which, by the way, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, or I guess now it's called X, make sure you guys go ahead and do that because I post all my crazy updates on there. But this photo was posted and ended up going viral. And let's just say our school district ended up finding out that this was a teacher in our school and she got fired literally 2 days later. Yeah. Apparently the photo that was posted online got over like 500,000 views, which is apparently a lot back then. And yeah, kind of wild. But I mean, to be fair, it is what it was. And this just goes to show that teachers should be careful what they wear and not wear anything that's, I guess, see-through. Nor should anyone, to be honest. But hey, if you don't believe the story's real, then fall for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.